Breaking news in the Sean Diddy Combs case. He's back in federal court today.
A federal judge says a woman who accused Sean Diddy Combs of sexually assaulting her cannot file her lawsuit under a pseudonym.
The spotlight is back on Sean Diddy Combs, not for his groundbreaking music or his storied business ventures, but for a far more serious reason. A federal grand jury in New York is poised to hear new evidence in an ongoing criminal case against him. This twist arrives amid a barrage of lawsuits and increasingly unsettling allegations that have reverberated through the public and the music industry. The big question everyone is asking is simple yet weighty. What could this new evidence entail, and how might it alter Diddy's future? Let's unpack every detail, from courtroom battles to public reactions and industry whispers. The announcement that a grand jury will reconvene has left both legal analysts and the public buzzing with questions. According to insiders, the grand jury is set to meet on Thursday, but the specifics of this new evidence remain under wraps. Federal prosecutors are keeping their cards close to their chest, refraining from public comment and leaving room for speculation. What kind of revelation could be substantial enough to warrant this level of secrecy and urgency? Could it be a new testimony, damning documents, or even the emergence of new witnesses? The silence from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York has only amplified curiosity, igniting conversations both in legal circles and among fans. To understand why this moment is significant, we need to revisit how this all began. Sean Diddy Combs, a figure who has often straddled the line between celebrated artist and controversial celebrity, now faces the most serious legal challenges of his life. The original indictment, filed back in September, accuses him of involvement in racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution. Prosecutors have depicted him as the orchestrator of a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse, where parties known as freak-offs were allegedly used as a backdrop for manipulation, coercion, and intimidation. According to the allegations, these events involved participants who felt pressured due to their career aspirations and were often provided with substances to ensure compliance. For Diddy, who has long denied these claims, the stakes couldn't be higher, and his defense team is fully aware of it. As if the criminal case were not enough, Diddy is also contending with a wave of civil lawsuits that have added fuel to an already raging fire. Over the past several months, numerous individuals have come forward, each with their own story of alleged misconduct, painting a picture that is both complex and unsettling. Among these, perhaps the most harrowing is the claim involving the sexual assault of a 10-year-old boy, a charge that Diddy's team has aggressively denied. In a pointed response, his defense described the plaintiff's attorney as someone more focused on the limelight than on justice, criticizing their constant press appearances and 1-800 number as proof of an attention-seeking strategy. But can this defense hold up when public sentiment is so divided? As more accusers come forward and media attention builds, maintaining control over the narrative becomes increasingly difficult. Despite the gravity of the charges, Diddy's legal team has remained steadfast and assertive. They've repeatedly expressed confidence in the integrity of the judicial process, stating that the truth will come to light. According to his defense, Diddy never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, and they believe the court will affirm this claim. However, as new evidence is prepared for the grand jury, doubts begin to surface. Is this confidence misplaced, or does Diddy's team have insight the public isn't privy to? One of their more strategic moves has been petitioning the judge to disclose the identities of his accusers. This request isn't just procedural, it's tactical. Revealing who the accusers are allows the defense to dig into their backgrounds, test their credibility, and introduce doubt. Just this week, a pivotal ruling was made. A judge determined that a woman from Tennessee who alleged that Diddy assaulted her at a Brooklyn party when she was 19 could not proceed anonymously. This ruling could set a new standard, potentially influencing other accusers who might hesitate to come forward if they must reveal their identities. Judge Mary Kay Weiskachil's ruling has added a new dimension to the case, illustrating the balance courts must maintain between protecting victims and ensuring a fair defense. The judge's words were clear. Simply put, allegations of sexual assault by themselves are not sufficient to entitle a plaintiff to proceed under a pseudonym. This statement is more than just a procedural note. It underscores the principle of transparency in the legal process. For Diddy's defense team, this ruling is a win, granting them the ability to challenge the accuser's credibility openly. However, it raises an important question. How many other accusers might be dissuaded from pursuing legal action if they fear being exposed publicly? This ruling sets a precedent that could shape how future cases are handled, potentially impacting the broader Me Too movement within the entertainment industry. As expected, these developments have sparked a firestorm on social media and beyond. Public reactions have been sharply divided, reflecting broader societal issues. On one side, you have loyal fans and defenders of Diddy, who view these allegations as part of a pattern of targeting high-profile figures with baseless claims. On the other, there are those who argue that these allegations point to a more systemic issue involving power, influence, and abuse. This division has only deepened as the case evolves. What's more interesting is the music industry's collective silence. Unlike in other cases where celebrities rush to take a stance, Diddy's peers have largely remained mute, a telling sign of how delicate this situation is. The entertainment world knows that aligning with the wrong narrative too early can lead to severe backlash. It's a game of wait and see, where silence is strategic. But as more evidence emerges and public pressure mounts, this silence may eventually break. Will we see a wave of public support or condemnation? Only time will tell. The grand jury's hearing of new evidence has sparked considerable speculation. What could it be? Legal analysts have offered various theories, from potential witness testimonies that corroborate existing claims to the introduction of new documents that could change the narrative. If this evidence is compelling, it could lead to additional charges and a more protracted trial. On the other hand, if it's seen as insufficient, it might backfire on the prosecution, strengthening the defense's position. The stakes are particularly high here because the trial, initially set for May face delays if these new elements are introduced. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a potential strategy-shifting moment for both sides. A longer timeline allows the defense to prepare more thoroughly, but also gives the prosecution more time to strengthen its case. One of the most significant potential game changers in this case is the role of witnesses. If new testimonies come to light, particularly those involving underage victims, it could shift the focus from debates over consent to unequivocal violations of federal law. The defense's argument, which leans heavily on portraying these interactions as consensual and part of the celebrity lifestyle, would face serious challenges if minors are involved. This shift could reshape not just Diddy's defense strategy, but the prosecution's approach as well. Federal charges involving minors are serious and often leave little room for ambiguity. This would mark a major turning point, altering the entire trajectory of the trial. Legacy. Throughout this escalating drama, Diddy has maintained a public front of defiance and determination. He insists on his innocence, and there are even reports suggesting that he might take the stand, a rare move that would add even more intensity to an already dramatic case. This approach indicates that he believes his version of events will resonate with the jury and the public. But with the grand jury poised to hear potentially damning new evidence, the pressure is at an all-time high. If this evidence leads to further charges, the implications could be catastrophic for Diddy's career, business ventures, and personal life. His empire, which spans music, fashion, and other business ventures, could suffer irreparable damage. Conversely, if the grand jury's findings are inconclusive or favorable to him, it could bolster his narrative of being unfairly targeted and enhance his image as someone who has been able to withstand an onslaught of public and legal challenges. This case isn't just about Sean Diddy Combs. It's a reflection of how society deals with allegations against powerful figures. It raises questions about accountability, celebrity privilege, and the power dynamics inherent in the entertainment industry. The outcome of this trial could set a precedent for how future cases involving high-profile individuals are prosecuted and defended. If Diddy is acquitted, or if the case falls apart, it could embolden other public figures facing similar accusations. However, if the prosecution succeeds, it could signal a shift toward greater accountability, regardless of a person's fame or influence. As the grand jury prepares to convene and hear this new evidence, one thing is clear: the stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just a courtroom battle, it's a test of narratives, public opinion, and the resilience of one of music's most influential figures. Each new piece of evidence, each ruling, and each public reaction adds layers to a story that extends beyond the courtroom. For Sean Diddy Combs, the coming weeks could determine the future of not just his career, but his legacy. Will this be a turning point that reshapes how we view power and accountability in the world of entertainment? Or will it be another chapter where fame, influence, and defense strategies prevail against the odds? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: this case is far from over, and the world will be watching every move. Stay tuned as we continue to follow the developments that could redefine not just one man's future, but set new precedents in the legal and cultural landscape.